Morning everyone. As you can see, it's 6 a.m, April the 1st, and our loan payment has gone out. But we're still left with quite a healthy amount in the bank, which makes me really happy because I think every year prior to now, my funds have never looked this healthy, even though we've been buying a lot of stuff. It's always been really, really tight each month until come time to sell something like pigs or crops or whatever. So we're following straight on in recording from the last episode, although last night we did tidy up the yard a little bit. So we unloaded the other 2 pallets of fertiliser, got the truck and trailer out of the way over there. I would have backed it in, but it was dark. That's my excuse. First of all, we need to get this all kitted up. We'll pull it around the front, and then as you can see, we're mostly full of corn from last year, which I'm not sure whether that's frowned upon or not, but it'll do. And our fertiliser tends to run out on corn especially far before the seed, so we'll leave that there. Top this up with fertiliser, which will be quite fiddly because they're individual tanks, but at least there's only 4 of them. And we'll get all ready to go. So even though we've got no contracts, the other thing that still needs doing, or that should need doing, is our grass fields should be ready to harvest. There we go, yeah. All ready to harvest along with the other grass fields on the map. I think that, yeah, the 2 fields I want to do with corn, certainly we're not playing with the crop rotations mod. However, I am still trying to rotate crops. I think I did have it on at one point, but there was something on there I didn't like or didn't get along with. So I rotate them for realism anyway, and the yield's already stupidly high with precision farming compared to what it would be in real life, even on hard mode with the sell prices. So again, it's one of those things, we're challenging ourselves enough already. Although maybe that would work the other way and we'd want the yield bonus, but I don't know. It suits me. Anyway, this was beans, so we're doing 1 field of corn on beans and then 1 on corn, just because we need to even things out. And we have a 6-row head, which means even though we're not doing row crop ready or anything, we should be doing 3 headlands, which will be 12 rows, which will be 2 headlands with the combine. That's my quick mental maths, which takes quite a while in this. So we'll turn it on. Seed and fertiliser are set to automatic. You can see we need to apply 155 kilos of nitrogen per hectare, which is ridiculous, and we'd probably be doing, I think you'd call it side dressing over there. We're going back over it with a second dose of nitrogen with a sprayer, but we shall just get to it. I think get this in the ground. I can't remember what, I think, yeah, medium 3rd, or it might have even been medium top gear we could plant at. Or maybe high 3rd. Yeah, that's giving us a nice power band. So we're direct drilling this, which means that we'll have to deal with weeds, but all the other fields we've ploughed, which will reduce our precision farming score, but mean that we won't have the problem of going over that with the John Deere cultivator. And this does have row markers, which I have used in the past, but the trouble is they're so small, basically. Well, that's a looming shadow. They're so small, and this case is one of the few tractors that doesn't have anything on the front to line up nice and easily. We'll try to be casual and not drive all over the field picking tiny bits. There we go. So you see there, that's nicely aligned with the edge of the field, which, apart from missing that tiny bit, if we look, it's all blocked by the air filter and the exhaust pipe. So the other side you can line it up with the corner of the bonnet, but unless you lean constantly, which would give you a massive neck ache in real life, you have to kind of guess based on where the tyre is. But that's working alright. And we do have the lime texture, which I think was done by a Polish modder on the mod hub called JMZ. So we've got his lime textures, and I went for the more white colour one, just because of the dirt that gets applied to the tractor is still the base game kind of really bright garish white, so it works better for that. But I do like he had a slightly browny yellow tinted lime that I liked as well. And one thing that does annoy me is you get the direct drill seeded texture when you're direct planting as well. But it's not the end of the world. Although, maybe for this map, rows that tight aren't impossible. Do need to play around and change some of the load distances. I've been fiddling with my graphics so much, so I hope that big dark cloud over our heads isn't too distracting, but I'll try to get that fixed for the next episode. It's running quite smoothly now. I tweaked some settings, turned some down for the added load of recording as well as playing. I think it's working out alright now. I guess we could try and mark it and just see what it's like. But you see there, it basically takes up half of the row anyway, or half of the width of the implement. And I tend to like planting in cab, and it's quite annoying to actually... It's quite satisfying to do, I guess, but it can be annoying as well to, if you forget to unfold and hold the wrong one, then that can be a bit of an annoyance. So we'll come on to our final headland. It's going in alright. 1, 2, there we go. Although, I guess for this side, we'll go up and down from this side. I was going to say if it's our final headland, then what's the point? But yeah, we'll go along back from here. So I'll lift now. There we go. I do like this combo, it's really cool, and I think EY Modding has released his Farmall International. I'm not sure whether I've got that installed yet. I guess we could have a look. And there is that scratch on the bonnet, if you see there, that lines up with the front, so we're using our shoddy paintwork as the main marker. I wonder if that was put on deliberately. I highly doubt it based on the other scratches there, but if it was, fair play, because it's the perfect distance. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad I've had so much use. This planter has lasted us ages, really. Had a lot of use out of it. Now, I don't know whether it would make more sense to go down the straight edge or the longer edge. I guess we can straighten this up a bit as we go. And you see there, it creates the planted texture where the row marker is being put down. Okay. Shouldn't need the map anymore. I can see that that's all going all right. And we're probably going to have to go back for a load of fert because we're under half full already. That's what I was saying. Corn's very, very taxing for fertilizer consumption. I nearly forgot to lift the marker there. And one good thing about doing a nice kind of combine width headland is we've got plenty of space to turn around because this doesn't have the sharpest steering lock. Oh, I was going to say there goes the train, but already gone. Yeah, in the last video I think I said this didn't have markers and I just completely forgot it did. Oh, we missed a bit there. And we've also... And that's the reason why I said this doesn't have markers, is because I don't use them, because I end up forgetting constantly if I'm doing things in cab, which I like to do, or on platform, I guess. In seat, we'll say. That's probably missed another bit, but not to worry. Yeah, that spacing, yeah, it's a bit patchy, but it'll do. We're not going to be missing out on huge amounts of corn just from that tiny little bit. And part of me wanted to convert this Alma to row crop ready for this series, but again, we're already doing a lot in terms of realism and things, and for my skills, I probably could have done it with trial and error. But yeah, I probably could have converted it to row crop. Jeez, that shouldn't really be driving up the bank quite like that. But yeah, I felt with my computer's not the best performance-wise, and that combined with the difficulty of doing it and needing to do individual planters for whenever I upgraded, it felt like too much hassle. And I'm really glad we've been using this 4-row because it's such a cool little mod that normally it would be too small for most people, I'd imagine, which is a shame because it's really wasted. Just about enough steering angle there. I'm going to say we might just get this field done and that'll jinx it, and then we will be short by about a row or two, I bet. Should have really turned the other way, maybe running over the crop. I'm not a professional row crop farmer in any capacity, real life or, well, technically we are in game, I suppose. We're trying to make a living off row crops. But I honestly think until playing Alma I hadn't done corn or grain since maybe don't know, maybe as far back as FS2013, which was the first game I probably started on. I did play a little bit of 11 after 15 come out, I think, just for some old school vibes, but really the first one I started on was 2013, which was great. But yeah, anyway, basically I hadn't done much US farming at all until, I don't really know what got me interested in it, but I started with Edgewater, I think, which I know is not US, but North American style farming, let's say. Started with Edgewater, did a little save game on that ran just one harvest, I think, which is how I'm sure most of our save games do. This Alma one's a bit unique for me. It takes me ages to find a map I want to stick to. So I basically had to learn everything there is about row crop farming, the US way of doing things, when I started this Alma save. So hopefully I'm being realistic enough, considering the amount of reading I've done on everything from doing that crop calendar. I've read so much literature from various sort of Missouri agriculture boards and educational stuff. So it gets a bit rough if you put a tyre down the marker rut. I really hope we're going to have enough fertiliser. Something tells me... God, turned a bit too sharp there. Something tells me we're not. We'll do this last bit without the markers, it'll get too tight. Yeah. Oh no, I regret that. Don't know what I want to do. I'm doing some very weird turns as well to avoid this bank. One cubic yard, 2%. I think we're going to run out just before. And that's 0. And if we look... Okay, we still have 0 yards, 0%. Can we do this patch? Please. Yes, and apparently that counts. That's amazing and unexpected. I thought it'd either screw me over or leave me with loads, but not the perfect interim. So anyway, we'll go back up to the yard and then we'll do the big field. Now there's the biogas plant if you hadn't already seen it and don't know the map, so we'll be taking our loose bale there. I still can't believe I tracked it for ages. Sometimes I even, at the end of a season, look on Easy Dev, it has an option to show you where bales are on the map, just to make sure I haven't missed any, and all of that, and I still missed one. So that can be rotted down for electricity and various stuff. I think we took a couple loads of slurry there. I think we need to sell the rest of our slurry because we don't have a spreader at the moment, big tank. So we've just been doing loads on the red truck with its little metal tank I've got for it that can go on the back of that. You can take the stake bed sides off, have it as a flatbed. which works alright. It's so close that if it was any further away it would be really annoying, but it's close enough, so that's fine. Okay, open all of this up, and we will need seed as well this time. And while this fills up... Oh, look at that! Contracts are working. Okay, so maybe it just needed a refresh, but that's really good to know. So here's our pigs. They've got plenty of food for the time being, plenty of straw. The slurry is filling up. We just took like maybe 10,000 litres, I think that is, off there, just to give them a bit of a buffer to build more up. It doesn't pay brilliantly, but it's some. All of these we filled up with water, that's fine. Okay, that's full again, so I'll have to drop this down here. We want to use the skid steer, which is a lot easier to get into that seed shed than the 4020. And actually, just before we do that, a new rule / idea I came up with is kind of uses the vehicle damage system combined with the normal workshop. So say we're next going to want this white for mowing, so we want to take the jewels off. Really, I think that's the most realistic option, but normally you can just take the jewels on and off instantly. What I want to do is make it a bit more realistic. So if we go into Control J, maintenance menu, that does also have one damage, so we could repair that. But what I figured is that you can start an inspection which lasts an hour. Start that. That's now locked, turned off, just like the John Deere was. And now I haven't tried this, hopefully it doesn't break the game or anything. Come in here, take the jewels off. There we go. Maybe we should have done that at the end, but either way, that's still locked. So that'll basically simulate it being out of action for an hour while we take the jewels off, which is more realistic than just being able to do everything instantly. Which I quite like the idea of that. And that's where we put our fertiliser. We clearly were tired last night because we forgot to shut the main workshop doors and the seed, or the fertiliser shed doors. And all our corn seed is in the pro box here. Of course in game it's just seed, it doesn't really matter what, but for our own pretend purposes we'll split them up, try to make it a bit more realistic. And now we barely see a thing, so it's a good job we don't have a dog. Well, that has reminded me, as well as doing the workshop, we put in a little play area here in the back garden. Just made it a bit more of a space, even though it looks really rough and unused. Maybe we'll have to do some tidying up, mowing and neating it up. But we did that just because it felt like a bit of wasted space. Now with this pro box, I think, I can't remember where it unloads. Does it come out of the middle in the bottom there? We'll find out, I guess. It can be difficult to get the skid steer in. I found coming around the front, going in at an angle like this. There we go. Yeah, that's dropping from the bottom there, although it has stopped now. We're just going to be... Oh no, actually it's probably filled up, and the 77% I'm reading and being daft is the what's left in the box. We'll dump that down there. Yeah, that's perfect. It's just me. Oop, wrong key. There we go. So let's get planting this big backfield here. And there we have our nice actual planted textures, which is good. That's what we like to see. Gonna have to miss a tiny bit there. And we're in far too high a gear. Yeah, it has the power in third. She can handle 4 rows easily. But like with the cultivating, we'll probably time-lapse this because it is not really tedious work. I really enjoy planting with the 4 row, but it does take a while. Well, it was all going well, and then I realised that I wasn't watching our fertiliser amount down there. And after already running pretty low on that last field, we've run out, of course, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. We did like a third of the row. We just got into a rhythm in first person of following the markers and everything, which was all fine. And then obviously it switches off when there's no fertiliser. Okay, well that's planting over with. I wasn't doing the neatest job turning on the headlands there, as you probably saw in the time lapse. I think either I need to make them wider or just steer the tractor better. Honestly, I'm a bit out of practice. But that's both our fields of corn done from the year, and we've got to wait until May to plant the beans, which I think, I'm not sure whether we'll plant the beans with the white or the big case 8910 yet. We'll see. But in the meantime, we'll park this up outside, give it a hose off. The white should be finished changing those wheels over, taking the jewels off. There we go. I won't repair that one damage yet because we need to get it straight onto the disc bind there, ready to do some cutting in the next episode. So we'll get the white onto the disc bind, which looks pretty tight in there, so we might have to get the Model A or something to move this header out of the way. It might fit, but it's so tight to everything, I'm not sure. Either way, we'll do that off camera, so sorry for my slightly shoddy planting skills. I hope that didn't put anyone off. And we'll catch you all in the next episode, which will be mowing.